Yeah, my wife is finally doing it, and she's taking me to an insane asylum.
Of the two of us, I don't think that that's the way that would go.
That's fair. Hey guys, Bo here, YankiRides. Today, the eagle-eyed observers of you will notice I'm not on my bike. We're in my wife's car. I would like to point out that it's my wife's car, just in case you see parts of it that aren't great. This is not my vehicle.
Oh no, you never use it.
I use it when I have to. I'd rather not. That's why
I'd rather not.
So today we're going to Milledgeville, Georgia, which is like an hour, almost 2 hours outside of the city. We're going to see what was recently, and by recently I mean in the last like 10 years, an active mental institution. There's one in Atlanta, but that one is like way off limits. This one you can like drive through and get out and whatnot. I've been around the area of the one in Atlanta, and though it is much closer, it is far more dangerous than this one is. So, brief history lesson, and I've talked about this before. Up until like the 60s or late 60s, early 70s, all the mental institutions in the United States were federally funded. Then they decided to stop doing that, and then they handed it off to private companies. There's your work. They handed it off to private companies. Those private companies, I mean, they didn't let them run for very long, and then they realized that it's not profitable, so they just started closing them. This one was actually open until 2010. I don't even think I think they literally called them insane asylums back then.
Sanitariums.
Sanitariums.
Yeah.
That is awful. Jesus.
There's a whole Metallica song about it.
In typical me fashion, I did bare minimal research. So we're traveling 2 hours blind, and then we'll see what happens. If anything, we can get lunch in Milledgeville, and then it'll be a nice little day trip with the wife. We're doing the thing. We're going. We've got a bit of traveling to do before we're there. So we'll catch back up when we're closer. Okay, we made it. Also, don't know how much of this property is the hospital and then just some closed ass buildings, because there's a lot of closed ass buildings. It's also really like just right here. Like I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was gonna be like you had to go through some like woods and there was like a long drive or something, but like
Horror movie.
But this is just like a straight up, we're just parking on the side of the road. So like I said, this one was closed in 2010. I'm gonna check out this whole thing. Under the care of Superintendent Dr. Theophilus Orgain Powell from 1879 to 1907. This institution adjusted to more accurate and innovative methods of diagnosis. This building is one part of this. So that means then this whole thing, all these closed things are part of the same complex. Let's go look at this little sign.
So they stopped saying things like, "Your uterus." Problem.
You're acting hysterical. So what is this? What is this? Okay. There's a hole. So at least what I read, I've read it in a couple of spots, so I didn't validate that. Hold on, let me get you guys in a better lighting situation. This particular, like the whole facility, I think stopped operation in 2010 was the last. Like that's what I read. I haven't validated this because I'm in like government site. But yeah, as late as 2010. Now unofficially, there's a lot of allegations of abuse, child abuse, putting people in cages. I mean, they're allegations, but
That sounds about right.
that sounds about right for these kind of places. The problem is they were largely underfunded, understaffed, and like administered. So like a lot of stuff happened at these kind of places that either went under the radar or didn't have any accountability. So there was a lot of abuses in the sanitariums, which is my new favorite word that I've learned for these places. But this one in particular, there was a lot of allegations for like child abuse and stuff like that. But the problem with these places is that once the companies that owned them decided to give up on them, like a lot of the people in here, they didn't have family. So they ended up just displaced. The one in Atlanta, I think to this day, the grounds of that one is still like a homeless camp for a lot of the people that were kicked out. And just like, I mean, they have mental health issues. So what do they know about going and finding people? And they ended up in those places. And so like when you are out in that one, you'll see like tents and stuff all in the woods near that area. This one's actually a lot more like out in the open though, so.
Even a flawed resource, if you take it away completely and you have no replacement.
Yeah.
What do you, how is that helping?
Yeah, a lot of those people, they would just end up, they had nowhere else to go, they didn't know where else to go, so they would just end up hanging out near the place where they knew. It was the only place they knew. At the very least, that's the way it is. Be careful of these spike pine cones and stuff. But I can only speak of what I absolutely know, which is the one that's in Atlanta. And that is the case there. So I assume, because similar things happened, that the end result would be the same as well. So we're not going to go inside this place because that's one, dangerous AF. We're not that kind of channel here. But also they have blocked off. I say this a lot. If you see a sign that says don't go in, please don't go in. Don't ruin it for everybody. Oh, this is creepy, even in the daytime.
Up and up?
Yes, yeah, it's a legit, okay, so they do tours, and it's like $30 or something. They only do them every once in a while, and it is through the city, but it's one of the former employees, from what I understand.
Well, right, I was just wondering, I didn't
If it was just some guy who used to work here.
a guy named Steve, that's
Yeah.
a good opportunity here.
Yeah, just some rando.
Oh man, if I didn't know there was all this green space, we could have had it.
We could have brought the boys.
Yeah, we could have brought the dogs.
There is a lot of green space in the middle of it. I imagine, yeah, this is like the courtyard. And then there's all the buildings that go around. So there's a big open space right here. What does this say? Swint Avenue in recognition of Dr. R.C. Swint's long and meritorious service to the Milledgeville State Hospital as assistant physician. And some other stuff that is hidden by the brush.
I wonder how his patients feel about meritorious service.
Yeah, I wonder if that merit was given to him by colleagues or patients. Walker Building, this one closed in 1974. Ceiling on third floor is fallen through, home to small mammals, snakes and insects. Walls contain mold, peeling paint, algae, and hazardous materials. Foliage has grown over a large portion of this, yeah. So this one was
originally called the Male Convalescent Building.
What?
Oh, here.
Oh no. Anyway, it's kind of sad that, like you were saying, well, they had to put up a fence, you know?
Right, I mean,
and like,
people came here just to learn the history and pay respect.
yeah. When you come places like this, if you're a dirtbag, then you're just screwing it up for everyone else, and they're not going to be able to, you know, learn or enjoy or absorb the information. Like the signs missing,
Right.
nearly every single window is broken out, which means the inside is, you know, succumbing to the elements. I can see from the street the walls are mildewy and the ceiling is coming in and the floors are falling out, which means that this place won't be around for other people to see it. Stop listening. Clearly people are getting in and either living here, because like the gate's been, and they keep zip tying it back along these edges. So either people are vandalizing it or there's people living here. I'm sure I saw a sleeping bag in one of the windows over there. I'm curious as why that place doesn't have a fence around it. It's clearly as old as these. Yeah, let's go look at that. Are you getting attacked?
Yeah.
Okay.
Broke free.
Okay, good. Want to break free?
Oh.
No, you're fine. I keep hearing some guy's dumb truck, and I'm like, yeah, why isn't this place? Is this not part of it? Like the building looks the same, like in the same style and whatnot. It says don't enter.
Yeah, it is. There's the sign.
Oh yeah. So why isn't this one all blocked off? Auditorium building. The Georgia Lunatic Asylum is what it was called. Fifth oldest institution exclusively for the insane in the South. And now we're in the meat and potatoes of it. The female convalescence building was erected in 1883, which is this building? No.
No, this is the auditorium.
That was I don't see
I haven't seen it. I don't think we've seen it yet.
Yeah. The building once mirrored the Walker building directly across the Pecan Grove. I think this was part of it.
Oh dear.
Yeah. The back portion of the building was torn down. Yeah, and a modern auditorium. Erected in 1949. The front portion was saved because it's a cornerstone with the hospital's original name of the Georgia Lunatic Asylum. The auditorium is still used for dances, meeting, nursing schools. Graduation staff training can also be rented for community events. So this was at one point the mirror of that Walker building over there. But I mean, that's more of what I expect to hear about.
Right.
Yeah. Like a lot of the signage and stuff in places like this kind of glosses over the reality of the ridiculousness of what constituted an insane person. And the fact that they actually mark this as the Lunatic Asylum. They said the cornerstone, the reason this was kept is because the cornerstone, which is right over here, actually. Let me crawl over here. So they kept the front half of this building because, yep, 1883, Georgia Lunatic Asylum with the Board of Trustees on the side of it. So yeah, that's the reason they kept the front half. Actually, they knocked out everything and just built a building right behind it. So when we go to places like this and like we see some of the history written out on signs, they kind of wash over. And if they're saying it straight up right here,
We can only imagine. It's always interesting to see things like that. Like when I was growing up and going to Shriners,
yeah,
that used to be called Shriners Hospital for Crippled Children.
woo,
And it would still have it.
woo.
Like in the 90s. I mean, when I was there in the 90s, it was called that, and it would be on every sign. And then they dropped the crippled part of it.
They're like, hey, yeah, let's back off a little bit. clearly these places are being occupied because I can see some doors that are propped open. Yeah, this was just a gated walkway. I'm looking for a sign that says what this little area was, because clearly this is part of that main building, where there's like several smaller buildings over here. No signs though saying what buildings were what though on any of these. Huh. All right, so I think that that about wraps it up. I'm conflicted because it's interesting. It's also sad.
Yeah, I feel.
And the thing that makes it, I was just saying, this thing, it makes it feel worse somehow that they still have power running to this place. Because that means like, that's still so recent.
I mean, it's only been 13 years.
Yeah, 13 years. At any rate, I'll put information down in the description if you want to check it out, you want to take their tour. Again, like I said, just be cool. Don't be a dirtbag and go ruin it. Also, if you see people around here that are clearly living here, just leave them be and give them space. Just be respectful and everything. Links be down there. Again, Teespring, Revzilla, all the camera stuff. And then go check out another video. I did a review on the camera that I'm using right now. That'll also be linked in the description. Until then, guys, be safe, be kind. Say goodbye to my wife. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.